Good evening, I'm Cynthia and I'm here with Doug, and we'll help you make money in the stock market with information you will not find anywhere else because we are Wall Street Media.
Oh boy, I never know if I'm going to get to share in one of the lines.
I like to shake up the line.
I know you do.
It's
all this drama. You're an improv girl now.
Improv.
Aren't you?
I live on the seat of my pants.
Yes, you do.
Very scary on the edge of reason. Okay.
Hey, let's talk about someone who's not living on the seat of his pants. This guy we love, okay? This is what a CEO should be, and this is what an American company should be. Innovating, doing better and better. The stock looks like this. German Mike's ready to jump out the window today because the market was down.
Oh, no.
Donaldson, good, solid company, good dividend, and we love this guy. Watch this video.
If he jumps out, do we have someone else to run the cameras?
Yeah.
Who cares then? All right. Well, we have William Cook, President and CEO of Donaldson Company, ticker DCI, discusses the company's power core filtration technology and the next generation, which is 1/3 smaller. It launched in 2008. Roll the clip, Mike.
Talk a little bit about some of our technologies, and we've talked about this in the past. Power core. So I have my traveling samples. So this is a technology Donaldson introduced about 20 years ago. At the time, it's called radial seal. You probably have to be a filter person to really appreciate this, but this was really innovative at the time. We left it out there too long. We had patents on it, but after a period of time, competitors figure out how to will fit it. So about 4 years ago, we introduced Power Core, which is, this Power Core has the same life, same performance as the technology that it replaces. So you can see it's about half the size. It allows us to shrink the size of the entire system by about 50%. It's a big deal for our OEM customers because it frees up space and reduces weight on their vehicles or equipment. We've been very successful with this. We have about 124 platforms that we've won with Power Core. But the other paradigm shift is when we introduced this technology, we assumed that other people were going to copy it because we assumed it was going to be successful. So we immediately started working on the next generation of Power Core, which is Gen 2, which we just released earlier this calendar year. And you can see it's about 1/3 smaller than the Power Core it's replacing. So it has the same life as this technology, same performance. Again, allows us to significantly shrink the size of the air cleaning system. The other great advantage with actually both of these is it locks up the replacement parts business. So I talked about our focus on growing our replacement parts or aftermarket business. This is one example of how we're doing this. We're using our technology to do that. It's also an example of how we've changed our business model. We're not waiting for competitors to copy us before we start working on the next generation technology. When we introduced this in February, we launched the product to replace it. So my goal is that in 3 or 4 years, I'll be talking about the replacement for this technology, which is just a couple months old. That's the new technology model that we have at Donaldson.
Guys,
that was great.
You see, super turbulent market.
William Cook.
Right. I bought their stock. I'm not very smart, so I made 13% on them in like a month.
You're Mensa.
And I sold it.
You're Mensa smart.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Tyler bought them, and he held it and added more, and they just keep going up. And they've got the nice dividend. They're going up. Turbulence and everything else, you know.
You know what happens with Tyler is he's the underdog, and sometimes God likes the underdog.
But you know what? He probably heard about the smaller filters.
Yeah.
1/3 smaller. Tyler's
1/3 smaller. Tyler's 1/3 smaller than your average person. So.
He's a little ball. He brought that.
We're Tyler's. I can hear. Look at us.
He's
shame on us. Shame on us.
And shooting the videos.
Anyway, let's get into our next great video. We have from THQ, Brian Farrell, Chairman and President and CEO of THQ, or ticker THQI, talks about their
fiscal year 09.
Whew, you guys are getting me now. That's very professional. FY09.
Hey, you're going to look on Corey's Investor
Fiscal year, I know. Fiscal year 2009 growth areas. Roll the clip, Mike.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the more near-term opportunities, and that's the fiscal 09 growth drivers. And it's a subset of the things we've just talked about. First of all, we think we have a very, very strong lineup this fiscal year based on proven intellectual properties. Clearly, WWE is a very strong property, and we think that's going to be strong here, again, in fiscal 09. We believe that Wall-E is a much more video game-friendly opportunity than Ratatouille. And then, again, two proven brands, a sequel to Saints Row, now on 2 platforms, And then also a sequel to our very popular Red Faction series on next-gen platforms. We have two very, very strong new intellectual properties we're introducing this year. De Blob, which I'll show you in a moment, a very unique and innovative game that is getting a lot of press on the Wii. And then Darksiders from our very strong studio down in Austin, Texas, a very interesting and graphically rich adventure action game. And then finally, taking advantage of the expanding demographics, we think we have a very robust pipeline of Wii games led by both licensed franchises like Wall-E and SmackDown, and then some very unique products like Deadly Creatures, All-Star Cheerleading, which is obviously directed at the girls market, and then very, very casual games like De Blob and Big Beach Sports. So let's talk a little bit about Saints Row 2. It's the sequel to the highly anticipated sequel to the very successful Saints Row franchise that, again, did about 2 million units on a single platform after its initial introduction about 2 years ago. And what's very, very interesting is we have a very differentiated product in this open world genre. If you look at the game, very, very strong character customization. We will have a lot of downloadable content. It's a very large, what we call sandbox, very rich environment. A very over-the-top combat system, a lot of things for the gamer to do, and a very unique point of difference, a very seamless two-player co-op mode where one player can join the other anytime in the game, a very unique and strong feature. So we think we have a very differentiated product with Saints Row 2, and again, if you go on some of the online blogs or something called Game Metrics, where they measure game buzz, we think we have some very, very strong and encouraging early feedback, and we're looking forward to launching that game in mid-October of this year.
That was Brian Farrell.
Yep.
Well, they do software videos, right?
They do video games.
Video games.
Right. And
video game software?
It is software.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm very sorry. Do you want to slap me? I'm very sorry. He makes a good point. They're in a great sector, super hot, right? And he likes what they have. He likes
this is America. Lineup. Kids need video games. God forbid they'd go outside and do something. They wouldn't be American. Do you know what they call video games?
No.
21st century babysitter.
That's right.
It's terrible. It's ruining the youth of America. Congratulations, THQ.
Jerry Mike grew up on them. He turned out.
No, he didn't.
Well,
he did not.
Listen, golf clap. Jeremy Mike's an uncle today.
Oh, congratulations.
In Switzerland, right? Yeah. Yep.
Switzerland.
He's got a little nephew.
Aww.
Isn't that nice?
Choose. Okay.
He will hopefully grow up and be a THQI shareholder.
Definitely. Something's happening.
You should give him some shares of THQ. Do you know that?
No, I'm not.
If you were a good uncle,
did some stuff. Is that supposed to happen?
If you were a good uncle. Anyhow, newcovester.com, right? Launched today.
Yeah.
Many new features open to the public. You can look on there and see these two videos for DCI and see these two companies and see who's buying them.
Very good. Well, I got one more for you before we head out. We got John Keyes. Is that how you say it? Keyes? Keyes?
Mm-hmm.
John Keyes, CFO of Urban Outfitters. I shop there. Or Urban, URBN.
I love these
Talked
guys.
about growth in their direct-to-consumer and wholesale businesses, and also about how they don't spend any money at all in advertising. So,
can I tell you something?
Who do they pay?
The Piper Jaffray analyst came out and downgraded them and said they were way overpriced, right? I bought them. I made a bunch of money in them, which you can see on covester.com, and they're doing very well.
Look, they're on the up.
It's
a beautiful chart.
What's that chart look like?
It looks beautiful.
That's gorgeous, right?
That looks like an incremental increase up the hill on the Y plane.
And they have neat new ideas, right? They're going to have the gardening stuff.
I didn't catch anything about my Y-axis on my plane and the increments. And I was doing statistics and probability just now, and you completely missed it. I was trying to be smart.
You are smart. You're brilliant. Beautiful, brilliant, and lovely.
Thank you.
I live in eternal gratitude for you coming in and helping.
Thanly very much.
Thank you.
Well, anyway, that Urban Outfitters looks great. So
we love them. They're a great company. I own them. I'm out of them at the moment. I'm looking for another entry point. I'll be back in. I own them this week. I've owned them for a couple of months since we did them at the last event.
So definitely follow everything on Covester. Don't forget in Investopedia. And don't forget that we're here every day at WSMCO.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again in a bit. Say goodnight, Doug.
Good night.